everyone, and welcome again all of you to this recorded class of the 6-month certificate course for the Foundational Stage Teacher teaching at Preschool 1, 2, 3, Classes 1 and 2. Myself, beautiful Mary Mylliem, Faculty of the RT, and I'm here to felicitate the lesson on the significance of early childhood education in lifelong learning and development and the significance of play. Hope that after you have listening to this recorded class, you will gain some input and understanding on both the topics that I have been sharing with you. I also advise you all teacher to read the additional and essential reading that have been provided to you for more understanding. Early childhood education refer to the education and care of children from birth to around 8 years of age. This stage is extremely important because it is the period when the foundation for a child physical, cognitive, social and emotional development is laid down. Whatever children learn and experience during these early years, it strongly influences a person's ability to learn, to adapt and succeed throughout life and has a lasting impact on the entire life. So during early childhood, the brain develops rapidly, and it is through ECE that stimulate thinking, reasoning and creativity through activities like storytelling, puzzle and play. These experiences strengthen neural connection which support future academic learning. So early childhood education is not just preparatory schooling, it is a foundation of human development. So for educators, understanding its significance is crucial because teaching in this year shapes children's lifelong learning pattern, attitudes and ability. Research also shows that early experience influence how children think, how they learn, behave and interact throughout their life. Therefore, early childhood education is not just the beginning of learning. It is the most crucial stage that shapes lifelong development. By investing in ECE, we ensure that individuals grow into capable, confident, and responsible member of society. Teachers therefore play a key role as facilitators of this foundational stage. To understand further on the importance of ECE education, let us further discuss. Now close your eyes, think about your childhood is different from what you have seen today. This statement is a reflective activity where you compare your own childhood experiences with the present child of today. It helps us understanding how childhood has changed over time and why early childhood education is more important than ever. When you close your eyes and think about your childhood, you often remember playing outdoor with friends, spending time with family members, learning through real-life experiences and simple games, the limited use of technology. But when we look at children today, their experiences are quite different from your childhood. There are increasing use of mobile phone, tablet and digital media, less outdoor play and more indoor, screen-based activity, more structured learning environment at an early age, greater exposure to information but less real life interaction. This shift shows that childhood environment have changed significantly and therefore the role of early childhood education has become more crucial in ensuring balanced development. Example for play and learning. Earlier, children learn by playing traditional games like hide and seek, which naturally develop social and physical skill. But today, many children spend more time playing video games or watching video, which may limit physical activity and face-to-face interaction. Another example on communication. Earlier, children interact more with family members, neighbors and friends, improve their communication skill. But today, communication is often replaced by screen time, reducing the opportunity for meaningful conversation. And regarding the learning style, earlier learning was informal and experience based, like learning by helping our parents, exploring the nature, and by asking questions. But in today, children learn is more structured and sometimes focus on early academic achievement even before children are developmentally ready. So why does reflection matter? This comparison helps you teachers and parents realize that children today need guided experiences to balance technology and real-world learning. Emotional and social development need proper attention, and play-based and interactive learning is more important than ever for the holistic development of a child. Early childhood experience stick with us and shape us. So whatever we experience as children in our early years, it has a lasting impact on our personality, behavior, learning ability, and emotional well-being. As said earlier, during early childhood, the brain is highly sensitive and responsive. So every interaction, whether positive or negative, it helps shape how a child thinks, feel, and behave in the future. So why do early experiences matter so much? In the early years, the brain develops rapidly and forms strong connection where children learn by observing, imitating, and experiencing habits, attitude, and emotional responses, which lead to form the sense of self in a child. Sense of self refer to how we see and understand ourselves, our identity, our feeling, abilities, and worth. It includes our self-image, who I am, self-esteem, how I feel about myself, and self-confidence, what I believe I can do. So in early childhood, this sense of self begins to develop and is strongly influenced by interaction with parent, teacher, and the environment. Again, why it is very important in early childhood education. A healthy sense of self helps children to participate actively in learning, to build relationship with others, to handle challenges and failures, to develop emotional well-being. Therefore, sense of self is shaped earlier in life and stay with us as we grow on. By nurturing children with care, respect, and encouragement, we help children to develop a positive identity and confidence that support lifelong learning and success. Because of this, early experiences don't just stay in childhood, they influence lifelong development. Example for emotional development: if a child grows up in a caring and supportive environment, they learn trust, empathy, emotional control. These children often build healthy relationships as adults. But if a child experiences neglect or harsh treatment, they may struggle with anxiety, aggression, or difficulty trusting others later in life. Regarding social behavior, children who are given opportunities to play and interact with others learns sharing and cooperation, respect for others, teamwork. These skills stay with them in school, workplace, and society. Regarding habits and discipline, for example, simple early habits like reading, cleanliness, punctuality, or healthy eating often continue into adulthood. A child who develops positive routine earlier is more likely to maintain a balanced and organized lifestyle later. So this key insight is very important for you teachers and parents because every small interaction matters. Like a kind words build confidence, a story builds imagination, play builds intelligence and social skills. Even simple daily experiences can leave a permanent impression in a child. So therefore, any kind of experiences that we encounter during our early childhood, it truly sticks with us, and these experiences form the foundation of who we become today. Further, our readiness for the future also forms the foundation of who we become. Readiness for the future here means how well a child is prepared to face upcoming challenges in school, career and life. Therefore, quality education provided in early childhood refer to building the skills, attitudes and abilities that help children to adapt, to learn and to succeed in a changing world. It is not about teaching advanced subject earlier, but about developing basic life skill, thinking abilities and emotional strength. So for cognitive readiness, it includes the ability to think, to understand and solve problems. Example, a child who learns through puzzle, storytelling and sorting activities in early years develop problem-solving skill, which later in school, the child can easily understand math concept and reasoning tasks. Early childhood education also prepare a child for social readiness, like the ability to interact with others, to cooperate and follow group rules. Example, a child who play group games like passing the ball, learn sharing, waiting for turns and teamwork develop social skill among children, which help them to be socialized in future, especially in the professional environment. For emotional readiness, ECE helps children to manage and control their feeling like anger, sadness, excitement and frustration. Example, if a child is guided to express the emotion in words instead of crying or aggression, they grow up emotionally balanced and can handle stress better in school and life. For language and communication readiness, early childhood education prepare a child with strong early communication skill that involves speaking, listening and understanding others effectively. Example, a child who listens to stories and participate in conversation develop strong communication skill which help them to express their ideas clearly in school presentation later. Regarding physical readiness, it reflects the development of fine and gross motor skill, which is very important but often neglected aspect of school readiness that profoundly shape preschool children and smooth transition from home to school. Therefore, investing in children's physical readiness is not just about exercise. It is about giving the child the tools to stand tall, to adapt and thrive in an ever-changing world. Example, activities like drawing, cutting paper and running improve and prepare the child for writing, then for sport in future and other physical tasks that they will be performed in the later school and future activity. A learning attitude in early childhood also train a child to build a positive attitude toward learning, and it is one of the strongest indicator for future readiness. Example, a child who enjoys exploring and is not afraid of mistake become a lifelong learner. Even in difficult subject later, they stay motivated to try again. So why early childhood education matter for future readiness? Because it helps children to build strong foundation for learning in future, to develop confidence and independence, to learn to adapt to new environment, to become creative and curious thinker. Readiness for the future is developed step by step during early childhood. So when children are given the right environment, the right care and learning experiences in early childhood, they grow into capable individuals who are ready to face academic, social and life challenges confidently in future. So by reflecting on these differences, we understand that early childhood education must adapt to modern challenges while still preserving the essence of childhood, play, exploration and human connection. This is how we keep the window of opportunity open for every child. So why early childhood education a window of opportunity. The early years are often called a window of opportunity because a child brain develops rapidly during this time, as we said earlier. Through experiences, environment, and education that we provided in these early years of learning have a lasting impact on the cognitive, emotional, and social development of a child. Whatever a child learns during their early years, it really shapes a child who they become later. Now let us discuss on the four perspectives which help us understand the significance of early years. First, the developmental perspective. The developmental perspective in early childhood education explains how a child grows and learns across different areas of development. It emphasizes that the early years lay the foundation for later life, especially in key domains such as cognitive, socio-emotional, language, and health and well-being. Early years as a foundation of development are the most important because rapid growth occurs during this period. Skill and experiences gained here become the base for future learning and behavior. Example, a child who learns basic counting and shape in preschool find it easier to understand mathematics in primary school. If these early concepts are not developed, later learning becomes more difficult. Now, interrelated and integrated domains of development. Child development is not divided into separate parts. Instead, all domains are connected and influence each other. Example, the cognitive development, which is thinking and understanding, language development, the communication skill, socio-emotional development, feeling relationship, health and well development, physical and mental health. So improvement in one area support the growth in another areas of domain. Example, when a child play a group game, they think and plan, which is cognitive. They talk and communicate, which is language. They cooperate and share, which is social emotional, and they run and move, which is a physical domain. This shows how all domains work together in one activity and domains are interrelated. Next, development in one domain influences others' growth in one area directly affect the other areas of development. Example, language and cognitive development. A child with strong language skill can express thought clearly, which improve problem solving and understanding in academics. Then for emotional and learning development, a child who emotionally secure and confident is more willing to participate in class and learn new things. On the other hand, an anxiety or fear can reduce the concentration and academic performance of the child. Now, related with growth and development depend on earlier stages of development, which is a continuous process. Each stages build on the previous one. So if early experiences are strong, later development become easier and more stable. Example, on language development, if a child hears stories, songs and conversation in early childhood, they develop strong vocabulary. This helps them further in reading and writing in school years later. Another example for motor development, if a toddler who practice holding object, drawing and playing, it's developed the fine motor skill. Later, this skill helps them to write neatly and perform school activity easily. Regarding social development, a child who learns sharing and cooperation in preschool grows into a socially responsible adolescent and adult. So the developmental perspective here, it shows that early childhood is a critical foundation stage where the cognitive, the language, the socio-emotional and health development are deeply interconnected and interdependent. So what happened in early years influence all later stages of life, therefore providing rich supportive and meaningful early experience ensure balance and lifelong development. Next perspective is neuroscience research. Neuroscience research shows that early childhood is the most critical period for brain development. During this stage, the brain grows rapidly than at any other stage of life and form millions of neural connections based on the child's previous experiences, the environment and the interaction. So new connections are formed based on stimulation from the environment. This means that what children see, hear, feel and experience in the early years directly shape how the brain develops and how they will learn in the future. Example, a child who is regularly exposed to story, conversation and song develops stronger language and thinking ability than a child who has limited interaction. Next is the importance of optimal stimulation at the right time. So neuroscience says that the brain needs right stimulation at the right time for healthy development. This includes sensory experiences, emotional support and learning opportunity. Example, a baby who is talked to, smiled at and played with develops stronger emotional and language skill. And a child who is given puzzle, building blocks and drawing activities develop problem solving and motor skill. So if stimulation is lacking during this early years experiences, then some developmental area may not reach their full potential. Next, freedom to explore and learn. Children learn best when they are allowed to explore their surroundings freely. So exploration helps build curiosity, creativity and confidence. Example, a child playing in a garden, they observe a plant and insect. They will ask a question like, why do leaves fall? And when children touches, feel and experiences the nature, this natural exploration strengthens the thinking and observation skill of a child. Next, the expression and communication. Children need opportunity to express their thoughts, feelings and ideas. This supports both emotional and language development. Example, a child drawing a picture and explaining it to the teacher. It develops the language skill, it builds confidence for the child and the child learns to express emotion in a healthy way. Building positive self-concept. Positive experiences help children develop a healthy view of themselves. As we discussed earlier, the known as a self-concept, when children feel valued and successful, their brain develops confidence and motivation. Example, when a teacher says, "Good job, you try very well," the child feels confident, motivated to try again. Proud of the effort, this builds a strong and positive self-image. Role of environment in brain development. Neuroscience highlights that a safe, supportive and stimulating environment is essential for brain growth. Example, a classroom that includes play-based learning and interactive activities or an emotional support from teacher also help children to develop holistically compared to a very strict fear-based environment. So neuroscience research clearly shows that early childhood is a window of opportunity for brain development, providing the right stimulation, freedom to explore, opportunity for expression and emotional support. It helps build strong neural connection. This not only supports learning but also shape a child's personality, confidence and lifelong development. So another perspective, which is child right. Child rights are the basic human rights that ensure every child can grow, develop and live with dignity. This right focuses on the overall well-being of children and guarantee that they are being protected, educated and given opportunities to reach their full potential. So children have been discussed into 5 types of major rights, that is survival, growth, development, protection, participation. This right ensures that every child gets a safe and supportive environment for healthy development. Right to survival. This means every child has the right to life, proper nutrition, health care, and a safe living environment. Example, a child receiving vaccination, nutritious food, and medical care is exercising their right to survival. Right to growth. Children have the right to grow physically and mentally in a healthy environment. Example, a child who gets balanced meal, clean water, and regular health checkup grows stronger and healthier compared to a child who lacks these basic needs. Right to development. This includes education, learning opportunities, and skill development for full potential growth of a child. Example, a child attending preschool or early childhood education program learns language, number, and social skills that help in future learning. Right to protection. Children must be protected from abuse, neglection, violence, and exploitation. Example, a child protected from child labor or bullying at a school is exercising the right to safety and protection. Right to participation. Children have the right to express their views, to share their ideas, and be heard in matters affecting to them. Example, in a classroom, when children are allowed to choose activities, they share their opinions or participate in group discussion. The right to participation is being respected. So the role of the state in child right. The government or state has the responsibility to ensure that all children have access to education and health care, live in safe environment, children are protected from being exploitation, receive equal opportunities for development, and this is done through policies, welfare scheme, school, haircare program, and child protection law. Few examples of the state responsibility, that is free and compulsory education through government school, midday meal scheme to improve nutrition, child protection law against child labor, health program like immunization drive. So when quality early care and education provided to young children through early childhood education program, it enables them to acquire age-appropriate knowledge and skill which further help them adjust in a better way in a formal school and ensure each child grow in a healthy and supportive environment. So the importance of ECE has been recognized globally as well. It started in 1989 with the United Nations Convention on the Right of the Child, which is an international agreement for child rights. It intended to protect and promote the well-being of children in terms of their survival, health, education, and protection. So, did you know that India is one of the signatories of the United Nations Convention on the right of the child? This means that India is legally bound to protect every children's rights. Child right ensure that every child get the right opportunity to survive, to grow, to develop, be protected, and participate in society. So the state along with parents, teachers, and society play a key role in safeguarding this right so that children can develop into healthy, educated, and responsible citizens. The last perspective to understand the significance of early childhood is the economic argument. So the economic argument for early childhood education suggested that investing in high quality early education is not only beneficial for children but also economically valuable for families and society as a whole. It focuses on how early learning leads to better productivity, higher income, and reduced long-term costs. Now let us discuss. Number one, higher earning and better employment. So economists highlight that children who attend quality early childhood education program are more likely to become successful adults with better job opportunities and higher income. Example, a child who attends a good preschool or early childhood education develops strong language, problem solving, and social skill, which later in life this child can perform better in school and gain higher education and secure a well-paying job compared to someone who did not receive earlier education support. Second, it reduces need for special support later in life. So earlier education helps prevent learning difficulty, behavioral issue and developmental delay. As a result, individuals require fewer remedial program or intervention in later stages of life. Example, a child who learns basic literacy and numeracy skill in early childhood adapt easily in primary school and does not require extra tuition or special academic support later. Also, when children are well prepared earlier, families spend less on remedial education, on healthcare issue caused by stress or behavioral problem, and this helps the saving of a family. So quality early childhood education also benefit the state government economically, as quality early childhood education reduce future costs related to crime and social problem, unemployment, healthcare and welfare support, educational remediation program. Example, a child who receives proper early education is more likely to become a responsible employed adult, reducing the need for the government welfare or rehabilitation program later in life. Long-term economic growth. So when many children receive quality early education, society benefit from a skilled, productive workforce, which contribute to national development. Example, a country with strong early childhood education system produce more educated professional, engineers, teachers and skilled workers, boosting the overall economy. So the economic argument clearly shows that early childhood education is a long-term investment, not an expense. It improves individual learning potential, reduce social and financial burden, and contribute to the national economic growth. Therefore, investing in early childhood education benefit not only children but also family, communities and the entire country. So early childhood education gives children a strong start in life. It helps them grow in many ways. It improves their thinking skill, the behavior, the emotion, and even future success in job and life. So the benefit of early childhood education are extensive and multifaceted, where investing in high quality early childhood education program is not only beneficial for individual children but also yields significant societal benefit, including reduced crime rate, better health outcome and economic growth. Okay, that is all about that we have been discussed on the significance of early childhood education in lifelong learning and development in today's recorded class. So we will also going to talk today on the significance of play in child development. So have you ever closely observed play activities of small children? What are the peculiarities you have noticed? Do you know the importance of these simple play activities in the entire life of a human being? In previous discussion, we discussed about the significance of early childhood education that leads to sound and holistic development of children. So children like to explore, to discover and play, and if they get the best environment, it will ensure proper cognitive, socio-emotional and physical development. So during early childhood, every activity of children is attractive. Example, the baby experiences joy in just moving the arms and legs or repeating with gurgling sound. These are the beginning of play and are most valuable for the life of children everywhere. So different types of toys is created so as to enhance interest and creating the connection with the physical environment. Like self-propelling egg become infant play and are essential for the overall development of the child. So as a child grows, the nature of play evolve and include response to people and object. They love experimenting and exploring. So when the child may pull something, throw an object or push a block like a train, it is in such an act that children display their thoughts and imagination. So through play, the child experiences different emotion and learn about the world around them. So play is universal, and all of us agree that play in early childhood is children's path to uncovering, discovering and learning about the secret of the physical social world. So during childhood, new skills are developed or learned through different play activity. In discussion, you will learn the importance of play in the early childhood years and how it boosts a further development of a child. So play is natural for children as it facilitates their growth and development. So while playing, children exercise their limb, they learn new words, and most importantly, they become happy and joyful when they play with others children. So the presence of other children enhance the social value of play. It is during play that children get the opportunities to interact with peers, which strengthen their social relationship. So children learn how to walk, how to obey orders, and how to be disciplined. Even emotional development is the result of play. So when children play together, they exchange ideas, discuss, argue, share their thoughts and feelings. All these are essential for their language development. It increases their power of reasoning, imagination and thinking. They also learn good habits and values from each other. So children learn about characteristics and properties of objects, of people and animals through play, which is helpful for the social, emotional and cognitive development of a child. So play is the natural method of teaching children. It is a medium through which they get immediate consequences of their activity. So in other words, play teaches children how to live and work with others in society. Yes, they learn about sharing, taking turns, winning and losing, and how to cooperate. Play also builds self-confidence, help them feel loved and secure, and let them explore how the world works. However, in today's world, this is a challenge. Children are spending more time on technologies like computer, tablet, and videos. And when kids spend too much time on screen, they often become less physical active and use their imagination less. So parents and teachers need to make sure that screen time is limited, and children should have at least 1 hour of physical activity every day, where physical play is a key for healthy growth, better immunity and sharper thinking skill of a child. To sum it up, children learn best through play, and it should be guided by their interests, not forced learning. So do you remember any game you really loved as a child? Yes, you might love playing hide and seek. Where you have been played during childhood time with your cousin and neighbors, or usually play with your friends in the evening. Remember, it was so exciting trying to find the perfect hiding spot, and the thrill of not getting caught was the best part. It made you feel happy and a little adventurous. Exactly, it also made you feel connected to your friends, where you laugh and have so much fun together. So do you think that play is only for fun? Not really, isn't it? Because I think it helps children learn a lot through game. How so it helps? Well, games like hide and seek teach problem solving and patience, where you have to think quickly and stay calm. Simultaneously, it also teaches teamwork and communication when you play with others, and it helps children especially to stay active and be healthy. So play isn't just for fun, however, it actually helps children grow in many ways. So an enabling environment for children learning means giving them experiences that are full of warmth, trust and interaction through games, music, rhymes, art and conversation. And whatever activities that we provided to children, it should always be developmentally appropriate and fun. Why? Because when children play, they are not just having fun, they are learning how to become confident, capable and caring individual. However, parents mostly feel that play is just a waste of time and children should start studying seriously from a young age. We understand the concern of parents, but early childhood education thinkers have emphasized that play is central to child's learning. Let us understand how can play be more important than studying. Play is natural, spontaneous and enjoyable for children. It is self-initiated, which makes learning more meaningful. Through play, children develop in all areas of domain: cognitive, social, emotional, moral, physical and psychomotor. Now let us discuss how that happens. Play stimulates curiosity and exploration. It helps children improve body control, develop creativity, build social skill and strengthen their emotional balance and language abilities when they play. That sounds useful, isn't it? But what about formal learning? For formal learning in preschool or early childhood education, we often use an activity-based or play-based curriculum. This means children learn through guided activities rather than formal instruction. Play itself becomes the methods of learning. So what is the teacher's role in this? Teachers play a very important role. We encourage play by providing interest material that promote exploration and learning. We guide children while they play, making sure learning is happening naturally. So what kind of an environment do children need for this? So the environment setting, it should include both indoor and outdoor play area with appropriate materials along with enough safety space for young children to play. So what kind of play is suitable for early children? So activities like running, jumping, walking and balancing, free painting, drawing, cutting, pasting, folding and clay modeling facilitate psychomotor development. Activities for cognitive development comprises activities like puzzle, story completion, picture completion, science experiment, memory game, stories, logical sequencing, that is involving thinking, reasoning and problem solving, making patterns, recalling of sequential activities, etc. For language development, it can be fostered through reading and writing, and activities like telling story, role play, creative drama, puppet play, doll play, etc. Activities for affective domain are dramatizing story, singing song, reciting poem in rhythm, dressing up dolls, imaginatively speaking about something. So play is not a waste of time, it is actually a way of learning. So at the early childhood stage, play is one of the most effective way children learn and grow. Absolutely, play shapes the mind, body and social skill of a child all at once. Have you ever noticed how children just can't sit still for a long period of time? Yes, it's like they are always full of energy, no matter where they are. Whether they are at home, in the playground, or even in the market, they always find something to play with. You might have seen a child turn the simplest things into a toy, like a pebble or even a leaf. That's the beauty of a child when they are freely engaged in play. So play comes naturally to them. They don't need expensive toys to have fun, and they don't need instruction either on how to play a game. They just create their own games and rules. This shows how imaginative they are, where even a small object can become anything in their mind. So when they play, they enjoy it completely. You can see it in the laughter and excitement. Playing also helps them to explore the world around them. Definitely, it helps them learn new things without even realizing it. So play isn't just an activity, it's a natural and important part of a child's life. I think all of you agree with me when we say that play keeps children happy, active, and help them grow in every way. Now let us discuss on the famous ideas by Maria Montessori, where play is the child's work. What do you think it means? It sounds interesting. But how can play be work? For adults, work means jobs and responsibilities. But for children, play is how they explore and understand the world around them. So when children play, they are actually learning. Example, when a child builds something with blocks or play with sand, they are developing thinking skill and creativity. And when they play with others, they even learn how to share and communicate. It is right that play helps children develop their social skill, emotional understanding, and even problem-solving ability, which means that play is not just a time pass for a child, but it's an important for the growth and learning of a child. Absolutely, according to Maria Montessori, children are naturally curious, and play is the way of walking to make sense of everything around them. But we never thought of it that play sounds very meaningful for children in building their minds, body, and relationship. So just like adults grow through their work, so play also is serious and valuable for a child, even if it looks like a fun. And it is well said that play is the child works according to Maria Montessori. So the different form of play we are having are free play, which is child-led play with no rule or structure, where children follow their interests and imagination. Second is the imaginative play, which is a pretending play like role playing and storytelling. Children create make-believe words. Third, social play, where children play with others. They start sharing, cooperating, and building relationship. Physical play, active play that develop movement, strength, coordination, and healthy habits. Creative play, where play like expressing ideas and feeling through art, music, dance, drama, and more. Cognitive play, where exploring, experimenting, and problem solving. Children discover how things work. Constructive play, building, stacking, designing, and creating with materials. Sensory play, where using the senses to explore different texture, sound, smell, taste, and movement. Exploratory play, investigating the environment, asking questions, and discovering new things. And the solitary play, where the child is playing alone, important for building independence. It focuses on self-confidence. So all these different type of play have different type of purpose, and the same goal of all these different types of play is to make a child to be happy, healthy, and to be a confident child. Now, play and learnings. So play and learning are closely connected and essential for a child development. So when children engage in play, they build important language and social skill. They learn to care for others and develop respect for the environment. So play also allows them to express their ideas and feeling freely. Through these experiences, children begin to understand the world around them. In addition, play helps in building relationships and developing healthy habits. It supports holistic development, including emotional, social, physical, and cognitive growth. So most importantly, learning through play is enjoyable and effective, which helps children remember what they learn for a longer time. Now, types of play. Unstructured play. If you ask a child, what do you like to do when you are not following any rule or plans while playing, usually they will answer, I like to play with whatever I feel at the moment. That's called unstructured or free play. It means playing without planning or instruction from the elders. It's really important because free play is a type of play that happens naturally without any fixed rules, planning or adults' direction. It is child initiated, meaning the child decides what to play, how to play and for how long to play. It is also voluntary, so children take part because they want to, not because they are told to. Why is unstructured or free play important? Because when play is unpredictable, child sometimes face new or unexpected challenges, which helps them to become stronger and more confident, which we call building resilience. It also helps them to learn how to handle stress and take care of their own feeling. So free play allows children to use their imagination and creativity. They can explore different ideas, try new roles and create their own game using everyday objects. So this kind of play also helps them become more curious about the world around them as they learn by exploring, experimenting and discovering things on their own. How unstructured or free play help the body and brain of a child? Definitely free play helps them to move more, which keep them healthy. It also helps their brain to grow by building stronger connection inside it. That's why children need lots of free play from when they are babies until they become teenagers. So what kind of a free play a child can do? A child can do many things. They can draw, they can paint or play music. They can also pretend and imagine things like building a house with a boxes or blanket or dressing up and playing make-believe. Overall, unstructured play is important because it supports a child's natural learning, helping them grow socially, emotionally, physically and intellectually in a relaxed and enjoyable way. Now, guided or structured play. Guided or structured play is a type of play where children explore and learn with some support from adults. In this form of play, the child is still actively involved and often take the lead, but an adult helps to guide the activity in a meaningful way. In guided or structured play, the adult does not control the play completely. Instead, they observe what the child is interested in and gently support the learning process by asking questions or giving suggestions or providing materials when needed. This helps the child stay engaged while also learning new skills. Example, as a teacher, you can guide a play by creating an environment or learning situation based on a learning goal. For example, if the goal is to identify the shape, so the area should have manipulative picture and activities related to shape. Then when the child is in that environment, they will lead the activity on their own but will eventually achieve the learning goal. So you can also guide play by asking open-ended questions and making encouraging comments. For example, if we mix blue with yellow color, what do you think will happen? So active observation is very essential to a teacher while guiding a play. It involves taking note of what fascinates the child, the skill they are learning and the challenges they are facing. So documenting this observation with photos, videos and children's thoughts or idea inform your plan for future activity. So while planning guided play activities for your school schedule, ensure that they are quick so that children aren't relying on you for an extended period. They should also be appropriate for each child development level, not too easy and not too difficult. Example, the guided play activities include like molding Play-Doh into different letters or number, sticking numbers on a magnetic board in order from 1 to 10, nature walk outside, simple jigsaw puzzle, activities that combine music and play. So guided play is important because it combines freedom and support. It allows children to be creative and independent while also helping them to learn specific skill to solve problems and understand new concepts more effectively. Indoor play and outdoor play. So free play can be both indoor as well as outdoor. Outdoor play is more beneficial for the development of gross motor skill, while indoor free play such as bidding, pegboards and puzzle is largely beneficial for the development of small muscle. So mechanical toys are helpful in enhancing this fine motor skill. And indoor free play also provide time for play in small group, for example like solving puzzle and engaging in doll play or other act of imitative play. So play can also include drawing and coloring, where children are encouraged to be creative as they play with colors and crayon. Therefore, it is a must that children in school should be given adequate and regular opportunities for engaging in interesting and age-appropriate outdoor play activities, which involving larger muscle development such as catching, running, jumping, skipping, balancing, etc. So alongside outdoor play, the daily plan for a preschool should provide time and opportunity for free indoor play with material in activity area such as block play, manipulative play and activities which help to nurture the creativity, the imagination and also strengthen the eye-hand coordination. Individual and solo play. So in the solitary play stage, children play alone with no social interaction. This stage is characterized by a lot of exploration and children learning how to entertain themselves. Solitary play is when a child plays alone, fully absorbed in their own activity without seeking interaction with other children or adults nearby. It is also known as independent or non-social play. Solitary play is one of the earliest stages of play developmental identified by sociologist Mildred Parton. Solitary play is most common between the age of 2 and 3, but it is a healthy and important form of play at any age. Even older children and adults benefit from time spent in focused, independent activity. So during solitary play, a child might be building a tower with block and experimenting with balance, drawing, painting or coloring, completing a puzzle, playing with figurines or dolls in an imaginary scenario, exploring sensory material like Play-Doh or sand, looking through a picture book. Young children engaged in solitary play typically show little interest in what other children around them are doing and are focused on their own experiences. So children develop a range of skill by engaging in this stage of play, including self-confidence, independence, and creative thinking. So why is solitary play important? Solitary play is a valuable part of early childhood development. Here are some of the key benefits. It builds concentration and focus. When children play alone, they practice sustaining attention on a single activity without the distraction that comes with group play. This ability to concentrate is a foundation for learning. Support independence and self-direction. Solitary play gives children the chance to make their own decision about what to do, how to do it, and when to move on. This builds confidence and a self of agency. It encourages creativity and imagination. Without the influence of other children's ideas, solitary play allows children to follow their own creative instinct. They can experiment, they can invent and explore without compromise. So it also develops self-regulation skill. It helps them to manage their frustration. Example, when a tower falls down, they decided to try a different approach to a puzzle, or choosing to move from one activity to another are all moments where children practice regulating their emotion and behavior. So providing a foundation for a later social play. Children who have had plenty of opportunity for solitary play develop the confidence and skill they need to engage with others when they are developmentally ready. So as a teacher, you can support solitary play by providing a safe and stimulating environment with a range of age-appropriate material. Resist the urge to always direct or join it. Sometimes the most valuable thing you can do is step back as a teacher and let the child explore at their own pace. Group play. When the child play with other children, it is referred to as group play. So playing in a group requires the child to take into consideration another person's point of view and follow rules. So this ability, as you have read or developed with age, till children are about 3 to 4 years, they mostly play by themselves, interacting with others only for a short duration. But they also look forward to being with other children. So as children grow older, they learn to play with others, and a major part of their play time is spent in group play. However, from time to time, older children also want to play by themselves and choose game or activities that they can play on their own. So as a teacher, how will you fit the different type of play into individual and group play? So creating a healthy balance of all kinds of play activities in your school routine. Now the role of teacher in guiding play activities in school. The teacher should ensure adequate, accessible, safe, age-appropriate and clean indoor and outdoor space and equipments or materials for children to engage in free and guided outdoor and indoor play. Make suitable adaptation for children with special needs. Suitable modification can be made for children with special needs with inputs from parents and others working with children. Teacher must engage all children through rotation. The adequacy should be enough to engage all children but in a rotational manner so as to also encourage development of social skill in them like sharing and waiting for one's turn, ensuring all children are included and playing and negotiating with them. Teacher must plan and facilitate play effectively. A teacher's role should be that of a planner and facilitator who should plan a balanced program conducive to children's shorter attention span and need for movement, while allowing for flexibility in the schedule as and when needed. They should be required to keep in mind the goals and objectives of preschool by design activities and be able to prepare a conducive, attractive and inviting environment for children to engage with materials, other children and with them. So the teacher should utilize by citing play and meal opportunities to encourage good work habits in children, like putting away material after playing, not dirtying the rooms, etc. Teacher must be friendly and interactive with all children. An effective teacher will be friendly and interactive with all children by asking questions regarding their play and activity. The individual light. Why does the ball move when the wind blows? How come the moon is always changing? Do you know I climbed it so high in the tree that the teachers say no more tree climbing? The answer aren't as important, but your approach of meeting your child's need to have their curiosity satisfy you allowed and extend their thinking and encourage their conversation while connecting with them. So this approach allows children initiative and their imagination to flourish. So encourage and appreciate each child effort. Most importantly, a child who can play is a child who wants to learn more. Therefore, the teacher must be encouraging and appreciative of each child effort by providing them with an ability to play and explore so as to enhance their cognitive development, the confidence, and boost their self-esteem. And sometimes, if children don't want to play, don't force them. There might be times when children don't want to play. For example, they could be tired or bored by doing the same activity for too long. This is common and usually nothing to worry about. But sometimes a lack of play or a lack of interest in play can be a sign of a developmental disorder. So here's when to consider speaking with a health professional or your child educator. When the child doesn't seem to get into interactive play like running, hide and seek, when the child has an extremely narrow interest in toy or doesn't use toy in a functional way, for example, the child is interested only in spinning the wheel of a toy car instead of driving it around the room like other children of the same age. When the child isn't interested in playing with other children or in playing written games, then you need to consult the doctor or the child educator. Play is an essential and critical part of all children's development. So when child start playing since infancy and ideally continue throughout his or her life. Through play, children learn how to socialize, to think, to solve problems, to mature, and most importantly, to have fun. So play connects children with their imagination, their environment, the parents and family, and the world around them. So play is beneficial for each child as it helps children in sharing of values, increasing communication, allow for teachable movement, and assist in the problem solving. So teacher, hopefully you have gained insight on the significance of early childhood education for lifelong learning and the importance of play in early child's learning through this discussion. However, I encourage you to learn more from other resources on this topic where it will help you to implement quality early childhood education in your school, especially on the importance of play, as we all know now that play is the center of learning for early childhood for the holistic development. I wish you all the best and thank you for being patient enough to listen to this recorded class. Thank you all.